Hi, my name is Chris Ryan. You've joined me at the Belfry in the Talent Performance Centre, and in this video we're going to give you 3 key things that you can do to stop skying the driver. Before we get into the video and give you those 3 ideas, please make sure you go ahead and follow me on my social media platforms. You've got Facebook, you've got Twitter and your Instagram. The details of those should be hopefully down in this corner of the screen about now. So we are talking about golf balls which hit the top edge of the driver, and we are hopefully going to get rid of the shots which hit that part of the golf club and leave a horrible mark on top of the golf club, which is sort of what happens when you generally hit those shots. If you do hit those shots, they will often go pretty straight, but they go straight up in the air. They go maybe about 50 to 100 yards and they don't really go very far. So there's a couple of things that we know that's happening when this shot appears on the golf course. So what we're going to try and do in these 3 little things is going to try and eliminate that from your game, and just making sure that we start to produce a better delivery of the golf club, which is going to hopefully help that. So first point number 1, and this is going to be quite easy, it's just tee height. We want to make sure that the tee height is applicable for the driver, depending on the driver that you've got. So over the last few years, maybe 10 years or so, certainly driver heads have got a little bit bigger. If you are using an older driver, which is where we've got a smaller head, and you're teeing the ball quite high, you're leaving yourself open to that shot. So we really want to make sure that the tee height is applicable, or appropriate I should say, for the golf club that you're using. So you can see the tee height I've got here. I really want to make sure is that when I sit the golf club behind the golf ball, I really want about half of the golf ball, maybe 3/4 of the golf ball, above the top of the club head. Any more than that, and it doesn't mean I will sky the ball, but it just enhances the chances of me doing that. So really making sure that the tee height is good is going to be helpful to you. So I would always say half to 3/4 is a good guide. It will differ for everybody. So just because your playing partner tees at a certain height doesn't necessarily mean that you will, but just double check it. So that's point number 1, quite simple. Just go ahead and check your tee height. Now point number 2 is all about ball position. So if the ball position is too far forward, then we probably will find that we get bottom of the golf club. If the ball position is too far back, we run the risk of skying the golf club. So we're really swinging this golf club on this arc, and if we hit the ball too early on that arc, we often get that club travelling too much down, and therefore we can get the leading edge sort of into the ground, and we get the top edge under the golf ball too much, hence we get the sky shot. If it was too forward in your stance, the chances are the club would be working away from the ground and we would hit more towards the bottom of the golf club. So point number 2 is just to make sure that you haven't got that ball too much in the middle of your stance. If it's anywhere near the middle, there's a decent chance that your hands will be forward. There's a decent chance that you will deliver the golf club too steep, and this will cause the top edge of the club to make contact with the ball, and we get those balls which go straight up in the air. So I want you to make sure that with your driver you have got the golf ball just inside that front heel, and along with that golf ball being just inside that front heel, you've got a little bit of tilt or bend to your right hand side, which puts your head a little bit more behind the ball, which effectively moves the ball even further forward. So 2 things here: we want the ball just inside that lead heel, and we want the upper body fractionally tilting away from the target. Those 2 things should mean that we're hitting the ball at the right part of the arc. Point number 3 is to make sure that we are not delivering the golf club with a negative angle of attack. So this is very much linked to what we just did with the setup, making sure that we haven't got the ball too much in the middle. We've got the ball more forward, but even if the ball is in the right part of the stance, you can still deliver that club with a negative angle of attack, and hitting down on the driver is by far the best way to hit those sky shots. So I haven't seen everybody's golf swing out there who skies the golf ball, but I would suggest that 99% of those golfers are swinging the driver with a negative angle of attack, therefore hitting the top edge of the golf club. If you can hit up on the golf ball, you greatly reduce the chances of hitting the top edge, and that's really, really important for this sort of demonstration here. So I've got my tee height, which is appropriate for the club I'm using. I've got my ball position just inside my front heel, and I've got my upper body tilted slightly away. So I've got my first 2 things. My third thing is to make sure that I'm hitting up on the golf ball. I want you to feel as if your golf club is rising up over the tee peg, and it's ascending away from the ground. I have done a video on this, which is going to go up a couple of weeks ago, but I want you to feel almost that you bounce the club before the golf ball. The lowest part of your golf swing needs to be before the golf ball and just inside the golf ball. That's a really, really good way to make sure you hit up on the golf ball. Right, let me go ahead and hit one. Got my target out there. So tee height's appropriate, ball position is good, a little bit of tilt to the right, and the third one is just to make sure I hit up on that golf ball, and I'll definitely will not sky that if I do all those things. And I'd be pretty happy with that drive. So certainly it's a shot we would like to eliminate from your game because it doesn't go very far, it doesn't advance you much down the hole, and often, especially if you've got a nice golf club like this, it can mark the top edge and it doesn't look very good on the golf club. So certainly a few reasons that we want to try and eliminate that from your game. So 3 things, if you can focus on those 3 things, you'll hopefully not hit that shot again, you'll be further down the fairway, and it is a much more enjoyable game from there. Right, thank you very much for watching. Usual things down below, you've got a like button, you've got a subscription link, and you've got a comments box. Please use those as you wish, and hopefully we'll see you again next time.